This is Michael Jackson, and you're listening to Hip Hop World Cup, the world's baddest rap podcast.
Hip Hop World Cup. Come on, y'all. Survival of the fit, only the strong survive. Hip Hop World Cup. Come on, y'all. I know Big Jack, kid, you know I bring it to your live. Hip Hop World Cup. Come on, y'all. Who bringing the ruckus, no doubt. Hip Hop World Cup. Record shot. To the head, the hop, you don't stop.
Hello and welcome to Hip Hop World Cup Shootout, the podcast that pits golden age rappers and producers against each other to find the ultimate champions. I'm your host, Danny Phillips, and as ever, I'm joined by the man who thinks Big Daddy Kane plays up front for Bayern Munich, Stephen Hitchcock. Hey, Steve.
It does, doesn't he?
And also joining me is the man who thought Grandmaster Flash was a chess-playing sex offender, James Luscombe. Yeah, that's not the case. You do know that.
I do.
We're coming to you live from New York, where we're about to conduct an epic versus shootout between two titans of the hip-hop game, Rakim and Big Daddy Kane. These legendary rappers have redefined the art of MCing and have influenced an entire generation of artists. Now, this is the point where I'd normally ask Steve and Larry some inane questions about our chosen artists, but that's boring. So I've come up with a brand new original segment for the show that I like to call...
Time for questions.
It's like an old school radio phone-in where callers will ask Larry and Steve questions about Rakim and Big Daddy Kane. But before we begin, I've been asked to read this. The segment entitled Time for Questions is an original production and is not associated with, endorsed by, or intended to replicate any existing broadcast or programme of a similar name. So with that out of the way, who's on line one and what's your question?
Yo, Hip Hop World Cup, how y'all doing? This is Snoop Dogg. Larry, what's your favorite Big Daddy Kane album?
Yeah, Snoop on line one there.
Thanks for the question, Snoop. I'd have to say the best of Big Daddy Kane.
Oh, that's harsh.
Absolutely. Does that answer your question, Snoop? Snoop? Oh, he's gone. But interesting. Yeah, it's a good album, that. Very best of Big Daddy Kane. Do you like that one, Steve? The very best of Big Daddy Kane?
I don't think I've heard that one.
It's got all the hits on it.
All the hits. Right, we've got another question here. This one's for you, Steve. Who's on line two?
Hi, Steve. I like pretty girls, but when did you first start getting jiggy with Rakim?
Will Smith there on line two.
This is incredible.
Yeah, I know. We've got some big name callers. So when did you first start getting jiggy with Rakim, Steve?
Do you know, I actually remember 1997, first year at uni, and someone said to me, do you know about Rakim? I was like, no, never really heard of him. He's like the best rapper ever. I was like, really? And then, yeah, it turned out he was pretty decent.
He was pretty good. Is that true, that story, or is it?
No, that's true, yeah. You mean jiggy as in, like, listening to him, not like...
Listening to him, yeah, no, that was...
Because that was another time I got properly jiggy.
Yeah. So it wasn't until later on that you kind of got into Rakim?
No, yeah. I was unaware of him, I think, until literally 1997. I probably heard of him, to be fair.
Yeah.
Only when I actively, like, sought him out then. I was like, oh, yeah.
Interesting.
And then I worked out that lots of the most quotables in hip-hop came from loads of his tracks. Yeah. I was like, I need to listen to a bit more of this.
Yeah, because this was your idea to do this episode with Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us a bit about why you wanted to do this versus shootout?
So yeah, I chose this one because of my love for old school hip-hop. So as I just explained, like finding an artist that you don't really know much about and then going back and like listening to them from, before I started listening to hip-hop. And it's really good, I think, when you kind of like come across an artist that you've heard on lots of other tracks, like their quotes and their samples, and you find out, the reason for them being so popular is because they are really good. So I chose these two because they're just two flawless New York rappers who've just been, like you said already, Danny, like massively influential. I have to disagree with Larry. Both of them have got a solid list of albums from the 80s and 90s, and Rakim actually had an album a couple of years ago, I think maybe last year.
Okay.
And just very quickly, because we'll talk about this a lot, but Rakim is like the godfather of modern day hip hop. He kind of invented the flow that went from his debut in '86 to like the end of the golden age. And it isn't what he kind of says, it's the way he says it, which is so kind of impressive. And then Big Daddy Kane, I think it's interesting. I don't know what you two think, but whenever you hear a rapper talk about their favourite rapper, Big Daddy Kane gets mentioned.
Yeah,
comes up a lot.
A lot.
It's like Kane, Rakim, G-Rap, isn't it? Those are the big three.
Yeah.
And he kind of like took those skills that Rakim introduced and then just like mastered it, but particularly like the punchlines, the lyricism. And without, Rakim, we wouldn't have Golden Age hip hop, but without Big Daddy Kane, we wouldn't have some of the giants of hip hop like Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, and Eminem. I think all of those really kind of like took his style and improved it. So I'm not really interested in the production, but I think lyrically these are two kind of giants. So yeah, that's why I went for it.
It's an interesting way of throwing two of the biggest MCs together against each other.
Yeah, because there's no other way you two are going to like look at these two
But
artists.
it's kind of a battle of the MCs rather than production, like we've done the Beat Miners and the Beat Nuts, which is very much production-led.
Yes.
It's nice to do one about MCs now.
Yeah.
All pissing about aside, Larry, your experience with Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, what was your relationship like with them as you
Just that
grew up?
I always kind of knew of them, but they were just of an earlier time, and I never revisited them. And then when I have, I don't know, we'll get into talking about this more in the episode, but I always struggle going back to older stuff, really, knowing that despite them being really innovative and understanding the reasons that they're so loved, is that I just think they've been surpassed. And when you've been raised on that stuff, it's hard to then go back. Even if you can recognise the historical importance of them, it doesn't necessarily mean that I like listening to their stuff.
Yeah. So was it an interesting exercise going through and listening back to some of these? Did you find, or?
I guess so. I mean, I think I was kind of familiar with most of the tracks that we're talking about. There are a kind of couple in there, especially from like Rakim's later, like sort of 97 and sort of that kind of era that I didn't know about, that were pretty impressive. But yeah, it's I was going in kind of without any sort of expectations, really, is how I try to approach it.
And can I just say something, just made me think about when you said to Larry, like, I think this has settled for me who the better rapper is as well.
Oh, really?
And
You've already
had it the other way around in my head. But
I think I know which one I prefer of the two.
Okay.
I think one of them's better, but one of them is more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is the definitive way of sorting out who is actually
Definitely.
the best.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is
Most
scientific.
scientific.
They'll be able to update the books.
They will.
after this,
They'll
won't
update the books, and also there's an area in the Smithsonian they've set aside for us when they have the results. So there's a lot riding on this. Before we get the shootout underway, I just want to do a quick run through of the rules. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Damn Hot World Cup. Rules to the shit. Damn Hot World Cup. Rules to the shit. There's rules to this game, so let me tell you how we do it. It's the Damn Hot World Cup. Rules to the shit. Only the strong survive. It's the Damn Hot World Cup.
In our Shootout versus episodes, we pick two hip-hop producers or rappers to compete against each other and find out which is the winner. We select 5 tracks to represent each side. Those 5 tracks include one personal pick from each host, while the other 2 tracks are decided between us. They can be from any era as long as the artist or producer came to prominence in the 1990s, but they can't be songs we've already discussed on our Dream Team or Playoff episodes. Essentially, they've been cup-tied. During the shootout, we pick the tracks at random to face each other, discuss them and decide which is the winner using the 3-man vote. It's the best of 5, whichever side scores the most wins. So let the shootout commence.
Damn Hot World Cup. Damn Hot World Cup.
We're still the world's only podcast monitored by VAR technology, which means every opinion is free from clear and obvious errors. So keeping an eye on today's episode are ex-Wimbledon striker John Fashanu. Nice to have you here, John.
It's great to be here. Great to be here.
Former England and Arsenal keeper David Seaman. Thanks for being here, David.
Pleasure, mate. Yeah, I'm good. Doing okay.
And friend of the show, Sam Allardyce. How are you, Sam?
I'm very good, thank you. I've been on holiday.
Goes on holiday a lot, doesn't he?
I guess he's not got any big high-profile managerial jobs.
He's retired
so
now.
He's retired. So without further ado, let's crack on with the shootout. We have 5 Rakim tracks, which are as follows. I Ain't No Joke, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, Don't Sweat the Technique, It's Been a Long Time, and When I Be on the Mic. And they're going up against these 5 Big Daddy Kane tracks. Ain't No Half Steppin', Set It Off, Mortal Kombat, How You Get a Record Deal, and Macula's Theory by Prince Paul. The tracks will be drawn at random. Steve, you're selecting the Rakim tracks. Larry, you're doing the Big Daddy Kane tracks. Don't worry, we'll put all of these tracks in the episode description as well, so you can see what they are. So, boys, without further ado, let's go. Steve, give me a number between 1 and 5.
1, please.
Number 1, that's I Ain't No Joke by Rakim, up against Larry. It's between 6 and 10.
8.
And that is Mortal Kombat by Big Daddy Kane. This is what these two sound like.
Damn, but think about it, then you understand. I'm just an addict, addicted to music. Maybe it's a habit, I gotta use it. Even if it's jazz or the quiet storm, I hook a beat up, convert it into hip-hop form. Write a rhyme and graffiti in every show you see me in. Deep concentration.
The kiss of death on a rap pick, and you get a slap quick, cigar chapstick. In other words, protect and hold your own. It only takes one punch to get the head blown. Fist of fury, suckers get weary. Cause the Kane got more spice than fury.
So this is a Steve versus Steve. This is 2 of your choices.
I know, that's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's probably a big clash for you.
Yeah.
Given how much you like these.
I'm really pleased that I Ain't No Joke came out first though, because it's Rakim's best track in my opinion. It is like off the scale brilliant in terms of his like lyricism. And I said at the beginning like how he was like so instrumental in like changing hip hop and changing like the way that people kind of flowed over rhymes, and this is such a good example of that. So you've got like all those internal rhyme schemes, the multi-syllabic flow, and this was just I tried to like count how many like quotable lines there were in this, and it's just I just gave up because it's just off the scale, you know. Even from the first line, I ain't no joke, I used to let the mic smoke, now I slam it when it's done and make sure it's broke. And it's just, I don't know, I think it's revered, isn't it, by a lot of like artists, which is why it's been like so heavily sampled.
He's so sampleable.
Yeah,
those little like one-off isolated snippets of lyrics that you can just take.
He is, but I did a little bit of like research into this, and I went through and counted some of the other tracks, and his other tracks aren't quite as sampled as you might think. It is this one that is like massively like revered and sampled. So yeah, it's really good, and I think there's a nice like line in there where it says like, so when you see me come up, freeze, or you be one of those 7 MCs, which is a reference, I don't know if you two know, to his like his debut single, which was like in '86, which was My Melody and Eric B for President.
Yeah, and
I just think you know, that was like the jump off for all this to kind of happen. So to also have that like reference in this track is a nice little thing as well.
Yeah, pretty smart callback. There was one line that I liked in it that I wrote down. It was, I hold the microphone like a grudge. Yeah, so that was quite simple and quite sort of clever.
And the other one I really like, so I've got to say this one because I can't remember which track this is from. It's probably been a few, but the one that says, I wake you up and as I stare in your face, you seem stunned. Remember me, the one you got your idea from. Just iconic stuff. So yeah, I think just fantastic lyricism on this track, like unrivaled really, and probably like should be, you know, up there in the Smithsonian.
Yeah, exactly. I think the musically, I think the beat sounds quite dated now. Obviously, you know, that's inevitable. It was what year was it? It was 1988. Was it? This one came out.
Yeah, I think it's from Phonomonida, isn't it? No, Paid in Full. Sorry,
yeah,
Paid in Full, 87. Yeah,
87. So, you know, it's inevitably going to sound a bit dated, but it really does with that sort of 808 beat in the clap and everything like that. But you can tell Rakim was ahead of his time with the way he was rapping. You could tell he was cut from a different cloth. Yeah. You know, from the kind of the Cold Crush and the Houdinis and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
it was very. He was kind of changing it up slightly into a different form of rapping.
Yep. That's amazing, isn't it? To be able to have that impact on any kind of art form. It's just ridiculous, really.
It is. I mean, don't get me wrong. He wasn't like doing super lyrical miracle stuff. It was, you know, but he was changing it up. He was doing a lot of those internal rhymes.
I guess that lyrical miracle style wouldn't exist without him doing this first. And obviously, like if he didn't do it, someone else would come along and do it. But he did.
He's like the grandfather of it. He did a lot of those internal rhymes where you rhyme two in the same line or whatever. It was really clever stuff. Musically, I was just going to say the sample that's used in it is Pass the Peas by the JBs. And I read in a book actually that's behind you there, Larry, called Check the Technique. They go through the Paid in Full album, and I was reading up about it, and it says that they were going to use more of that sample. You know, it's just the horns that keep coming all the way through it. But they just decided to get Eric B just to scratch those horns in all the way through, so it's kind of makes it a lot more sparse than than it was probably going to set out to be in the first place. That's a really good book, actually, that Check the Technique. They go into detail about a lot of really great albums by Brian Coleman. Recommend you check it out if you listen to this. So yeah, Larry, so what are your thoughts on this track in general?
This apologies, this is the track I wrote the least about. It was the first one that I started kind of writing about, and then thought I'll come back to this when I listen to the others. But all I've kind of really said about it is, would this be good if it came out today? No, it wouldn't.
No.
And that's where I stand on this kind of stuff, really, is that I understand all of the kind of historical importance of it, like in the same way that it's like watching, like Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you get it, you understand why that was important for subsequent kind of animation, but it's not good by kind of modern standards, is it?
No, but is it fair to judge it on modern standards given the...
I guess not, but that's all I can really do. I can acknowledge the innovation of it and the importance of it and all that kind of stuff. And, Rakim does sound brilliant. Like, he's got a great voice. I love the way his voice is recorded. I think it's like, maybe it's got like a little echo or something, kind of some kind of double tracked kind of thing. It always sounds really good. But yeah, it's just too simple and I don't know. I'm not really feeling this one massively.
I think I just appreciate it in like a different way to you, definitely.
Yeah.
So I like to go back and just like listen to all the lines and the skill. It's just.
I think it's one where you've got to kind of appreciate the lyrics and the rapping really primarily, because you can't. The music's just dated. It's basically just something for him to rap over. It could have been anything, but it's too simple. But you can admire Rakim and what he was doing lyrically, I think, more than anything else.
Yeah, definitely.
So moving over to the other track then it's up against, we've got a bit of Big Daddy Kane's Mortal Kombat from the It's a Big Daddy Thing album, 1989, I believe.
Yeah.
So again, another one of your choices, Steve. Why did you throw this one in the mix?
I really like this one. I think it's such a good example of his skills. Basically, I don't think you'd want to go into battle against him. He, in contrast to Rakim, he's got this kind of like faster, more rhythmic flow. Rakim is a bit more known for being a bit more kind of laid back and a bit more monotone. He just kind of like spits out bars with incredible, breath control, I think. And just some of the lines, like I'm going to read some out here because I can't do them justice because of the way that he kind of delivers.
Can you rap them? Actually, if I put a beat on, can you rap them?
No, okay. No, I really can't because it is really hard. He does like this line with gold, bold, never sold to a bidder, that claim to glitter, you're bitter like a kitty litter. I just can't get it in there. And there's the classic. Again, I like hearing the rhymes that have been then heavily sampled by other artists, and this one I just love. So keep to myself, never bother another. But if a rapper tries to dish, I crush the motherfucker.
Hey. Nice,
just love it.
It was like listening to him, wasn't it?
One of those for the lyricism there, Steve.
Yeah, cool. So it's just it exemplifies really well, I think, his battle skills and his lyricism, and he produced it as well, I think, himself, which is quite unusual because he normally relies quite heavily on like Marley Marl and the 45 King.
Yeah, I noticed that Prince Paul was on this. I think he produced some of this stuff on this album, unless I'm mistaken.
Maybe
there's kind of a different lineup of producers. Larry, so what are your thoughts on this? Is it a fatality or is it?
Well, it's funny.
Something else from the
funny
game
to say
Mortal
that
Kombat?
because I wonder if did the game Mortal Kombat get its name from this? Or is it like a phrase that
it's a phrase, I think.
Is it?
Yeah,
but it was around at the same time, wasn't it? Or was it
Mortal Kombat the game was I think 91,
right?
Whereas this is like 89.
Yeah.
So Mortal Kombat would have come after, but
sounds like a Japanese samurai thing, doesn't it?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, look, I'm going to be really repetitive on a lot of these. My comments on this is that I haven't got much to say other than it's just one of those ones where I can completely appreciate it in a historical context, but this kind of stuff is just too boring to me. That's the only word I can really use for it. And I think the problem is like my entry point into hip hop, same with you, Danny, was Public Enemy and NWA, which is like, both of which have like the most dense, exciting, like sensory overload production that you can possibly imagine. And it's therefore very difficult to go back to this really basic sounding stuff. For me, I'm primed to like that kind of more advanced sound.
We were spoiled from the outset, really, by being into that stuff.
I've like, if I'd have, I've just always felt a bit too old for this kind of stuff. If I'd have been there at the time, I'm sure I would have absolutely loved it.
It's funny because it's a similar era, similar year after, Straight Outta Compton.
It's not that kind of different sort of an era, but I love that kind of more advanced, kind of clever production. And
do you appreciate the lyricism though that you
well, I was going to say, I think it's the rapping as well, and like I think well, not the rapping, but it's the lyrical content. I don't rate it. Like, I think, pretty much every single track that we're going to be talking about today, like, can be summarised as, like, I'm the best rapper and I'm better than you.
I've got exactly the same note written down.
And a lot of it's not even clever stuff. It's like, I can't be impressed with this kind of stuff. Like, in a world where, I kind of know, like, Big L as a kind of punchline kind of battle rapper.
But I do feel you've got to look at it through the lens of an historian, in terms of like they did take this braggadocious rap to another level, because the stuff that you were getting before this was like on
again, all of that I completely acknowledge why acknowledge why it was impressive at the time and what it laid the foundations for. But it's kind of like, again, like I can come up with so many of these. It's like getting into rock through Led Zeppelin and then going back like to Bill Haley and the Comets or something. Like I just I can't do it.
I just say to the listeners, I knew that you two would find this episode difficult. This is definitely my indulgence here.
I think Larry's finding it more difficult.
It's not even that I don't I can sort of enjoy it enough on a basic level, but I'm not as impressed with it as I think I'm supposed to be.
I mean, it comes from an era when, hip hop was built on battle raps, wasn't it? Battles, contests, lyrical, who's best sort of thing. So he's very much from that school. And he does try very hard to be inventive with telling you how much better he is than other rappers. But yeah, one of my notes was that it's just another song about Big Daddy Kane talking about how good he is.
They're all like it.
Yeah.
And like the similes they use, they're just not that good either.
He gets, his similes and metaphors get better as he goes on, like maybe more inventive and a bit more clever. But you have to remember, he's quite young. He's really young when he's doing all this stuff, and he's not. It's all a bit sort of bravado and all a bit kind of raw and no pun intended.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you a bit, Larry, though. It's just kind of like, yes, another song where he's telling you how good he is. I will say, though, musically, I think it's a very nice use of the funky drummer break and the I Get Lifted sample by George McRae. I think it's quite a nice upbeat kind of production. Because at that time, funky drummer hadn't quite been as overused. I know a lot of them were using it, but it was it's a nice use of it. It's quite an up-tempo, funky head nodder. So I'll give it some props on the musical side. But yeah, and you can hear that Big Daddy Kane is a good MC through it. He knows what he's doing. It's just not particularly advanced or complex.
They're both really good rappers with really great voices and really technically able.
Yeah. Anything else to add on that one then? No. Before we move on to the vote.
All good.
Okay, so let's go with you first then, Steve. What was your true score? What did you give it, and which one are you voting for?
True score, I Ain't No Joke would have got 5 because I just think it has to be in the I can't speak now.
Yeah.
Smithsonian. And Mortal Kombat would get 4.
Okay. So which one are you going for?
Ain't No Joke.
Ain't No Joke.
Classic.
I will temper this by saying a lot of these tracks I have marked at 4. Okay, but not these two. Ain't No Joke got a 3, and Mortal Kombat got a 2. So I'm going to go with.
God, wow, that's brutal.
Ain't No Joke.
That's brutal.
Yeah,
right?
Those are it will get better in terms of my scoring.
So that's a 2-0 for I Ain't No Joke so far.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
So it's all academic, but I'm going to go for I Ain't No Joke as well. I gave that a 3, and I gave Mortal Kombat a 2 as well. I Ain't No Joke is just slightly the better track to me, lyrically and probably, but maybe not musically, but
it's a bit more kind of iconic.
Yeah,
isn't
it's a bit more iconic. Yeah. So I Ain't No Joke.
More, really.
So that's a 3-0 win for I Ain't No Joke. Let's move on now to the second match. Let's have a different number between 1 and 5, Steve.
Number 2, please.
Number 2 is Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, and a different number between 6 and 10, Larry.
10.
10 is Prince Paul, Macula's Theory. Let's have a listen to both of those.
Then I'm gonna get my piano. Bring a bulletproof vest, nothing to ricochet. Ready aim at the brain and what the trigger say. Tempos trifle, felt like a rifle. Massage and melodies might go right through simultaneously like a Uzi. Nothing can bruise me. Lyrics let up when ladies say don't lose me.
I mastered the craft on the way to keep them strung. That niggas wanna keep my name from off their girl's tongue. So many bragging, boasting like to play high post. Always promising Thomases and can't cook toast. Thinking that the Mackin game is just a fashion show.
Let's just check in with Richard Keys to see how we're doing so far. Richard, how are we doing?
You definitely smashed it.
That's good. Good to hear. So that's Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em from 1990 from the album of the same name, up against Macula's Theory, which was released a lot later. Not that long
99
ago.
was it?
99.
Something like that.
Cool. So who wants to start on this one? Let's go with Macula's Theory first.
Okay.
Larry, let's.
That was me, was
that
it?
was your choice.
Yeah, I know I picked this one, but I don't have much to say about it really. I guess there's a kind of a sort of interesting kind of incongruence almost with kind of putting him on a track like this. Like you wouldn't really. It's not the kind of track musically that you would expect to hear Big Daddy Kane on, really.
And I don't think any listeners would have expected this to be on our top 5 either.
No.
But the main reason we've chosen this, because I was in agreement with you, Larry, is that it's from the album Prince Amongst Thieves, which is a phenomenal album.
It's an interesting album. I think the music on it is really good. It's just all the skits I could really do. It's half skit, half song as an album.
Well, we should probably explain. It's a story that follows Tyreek, who's played by Breeze Bruin from Juggernauts, who wants to become a rapper, and he basically ends up going through all these dramas. He has to raise $1,000 to get.
I didn't know any of this. I knew that there was a story. I just know what it was.
He has to get $1,000 to get this demo recorded so he can meet the RZA.
Right. Okay.
It's just amazing. This is why it's such a phenomenal album, because if you have to take in the skits and you have to take all of the lyrics in to understand what's happening. It's just it's a renowned hip hop drama. And there's a really good track on there by Cool Keith as well, which I absolutely, as you know, I love Cool Keith.
It's got the best De La Soul track on it as well.
Yeah, it's got a great
My favourite De La Soul track.
Yeah.
It's got a really good Everlast track on it as well.
Yeah. And this is why if you haven't heard this album, you've got to go and listen to it properly, because that's why I think it's on this podcast today, just to kind of shoehorn
But
it.
I think it kind of feels like they've obviously got Big Daddy Kane on it as like a kind of elder statesman kind of rapper on it, and he does sound absolutely great on it.
And can I just stand? And also by this point, he's just as renowned for being a ladies' man as he is for being a greatest all-time rapper.
Yeah,
because he used to do shows just for women.
Right. But he's always been that since the Prince of Darkness album,
yeah, he's a
1991, which I kind of he was very much
he's a sexy man. I mean,
he's a sexy.
You
man.
would, wouldn't you?
Oh, 100%. How do you know I haven't? Yeah. So
yeah, that's it really. I think to a lot of his kind of classic stuff is a bit more kind of up tempo and fun. All the stuff that I know of his anyway, whereas this, he's kind of rapping on a kind of more somber, serious sounding beat.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really good matchup. It's a bit of a
that was in my
kind
notes.
of move.
It's one of the only tracks where he does really kind of slow his flow
down. He's really
down.
slowed down, really purposeful with it. He sounds absolutely great.
And I agree. Sorry, Danny, just to interrupt that. That's actually in juxtaposition to Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, where I think actually Rakim has a faster flow on there. So these two tracks, I think, are good examples that they both have that flexibility to change their style.
I've also, but it's quite a RZA-esque beat as well, the sample.
I was just going to say that because the sample, when I first heard it, I'd never heard this before you suggested putting it in these 5. And I thought it was an Al Green sample, which is kind of the sort of thing that
you're right. It does sound Al
RZA would have
Greenish,
sampled. And I looked at what sample is, and it's actually by Syl Johnson, and it's produced by Willie Mitchell, who was Al Green's producer. So that's why it sounds like
Yeah.
the sort of thing RZA would sample.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Syl Johnson's been sampled many times by RZA.
Yeah.
But I really love the beat. I'm a sucker for those sort of Al Green sounding beats, and it's a nice tempo, quite slow, very different, like you both said, to what you'd expect Big Daddy Kane to be rapping over.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, I think Big Daddy Kane sounds really good on it. Like you say, an elder statesman, he's kind of got this really, authoritarian delivery, which is really nice.
Yeah.
As I say, I've got no idea what it's about, but I quite like it. I sense it's about something entertaining.
Well, he's a pimp in it, isn't he? Basically,
and the intro is quite funny as well with the dime a dozen.
But also, what's kind of quite interesting is that for somebody like we've spoken before, or I mentioned how like all of these tracks are basically braggadocious. I'm better than you. Like this is that, but it's playing a role and saying I'm the best pimp.
Yeah.
I'm a better one than you, and sort of laying out all of these reasons for it. So that's quite interesting, I think.
Anything to add on this one, Steve?
No,
all good. So let's move over to Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. This was my choice. This was kind of a formative track for me back in the day. I think it came out in 1990, right at the time we were kind of getting into hip hop, and I acquired this tape on cassette and absolutely loved it. One of those where I just let it play all the time. But this was the mixtape kind of compilation track I'd put on all the compilations. This was one of my favourites. I think why I liked it so much, it was the hardness of the beat. It just really went in. It's that break, and it's just so hard, and the little bass line and everything. I always thought it went really hard. It was a lot harder than a lot of the other stuff I'd heard around that time, which admittedly wasn't that much when we first started getting into. But I just liked the hardness of it, and it was kind of matched by Rakim sounding really like intense and kind of really grown up on it, and proper like brooding, which I liked. So it's a really masterful vocal performance matched with a really intense hard beat. It was just absolute catnip for me. I loved it. So this is why I wanted this included. I know we've discussed this album, I think, on our 1990 episode in our first series.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could not have 5 Rakim tracks and this not be included because it played such a big part in my hip hop history.
Yeah.
Larry, what are your thoughts on this one?
A lot really similar comments. Really, I love the drums on it. I've got a soft spot for drums that have like that kind of ride cymbal. Use in there. There's always just something about it. It just sounds old school.
It's driving.
Really driving it, and it's a kind of sinister, broody sounding beat, and Rakim sounds great on stuff like that because there's something about his voice that's very kind of serious in his kind of delivery and voice, and just perfectly matched. So yeah, I really like it.
Yeah. Nice. Steve, what are your thoughts on Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em? Did it hit you?
It's definitely not one of my favourite Rakim tracks, so I don't really have very much to kind of add. I think, like I already said, like his flow's slightly slower here, but he's still able to kind of, no, it's not slower, it's faster, but he's still able to maintain, because he has quite a stoic, calm delivery. He's able to maintain that even at that kind of faster pace, so I think that's quite impressive. And yeah, the beat, I just love it. Has it got some like Nautilus stuff in there? Because I can never...
What stuff, sorry?
Nautilus, is that it?
Well, it sounds like it does sound like it might have a little smidgen of that in the background.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
There's something going on. There's like a tinkly little kind of electric piano kind of thing in the background.
Yeah. So it's a nice track, just not one of my favourites.
Okay, fair enough.
It's very, very. What's the kind of word? It's just so typical of. It's just like old school rap.
Yeah.
That's what old school rap sounds like to me.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, really. Yeah,
like the essence of
especially
it,
from that 1990 era where there's kind of a lot going on. It's very driving. The tempos are higher.
Yeah.
Sorry, just quickly, there is not a bit of Nautilus on the chorus. I think it comes in with yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Okay, let's put it to the vote. I gave this one 4 out of 5. I didn't quite give it the 5, but I gave it 4 out of 5. But it gets my vote obviously because it was my choice.
What does Maculus Theory get?
Maculus Theory got 3 actually. So yeah, but that's 1 vote for Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. Larry, what are you doing?
I think I'd probably vote for Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em as well.
Okay.
I gave that a 4. I forgot to rate Maculus Theory, but I think I'll probably give it about a 4 as well. But I think just because it is such a prototypical kind of hip hop beat, I've got to give it to the Rakim track, I think.
Fair enough.
Is that 2-0 already?
It's consolation goal, 2-0 already.
I'd rate them both the same, really. I'll go for Mightiest Theory, though, because I just love that album so much.
Okay, fair enough. So that's a 2-1 win for Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, and as a result, it gets one of these.
Back of the net.
That's the one. We go, even though I forgot to do that for I Ain't No Joke. Right, let's move on to the next match. Let's have a different number between 1 and 5 this time, Steve.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Don't Sweat the Technique from 1992, up against Larry. Another
7.
Set It Off. So it's Don't Sweat the Technique versus Set It Off. Let's have a listen to those.
Check the file. Let's see who bit the dissect the style. I flip the script so they can't get filed. At least not now, it'll take a while. I change the pace to complete the beat. I drop the bass, 2 MCs get weak. For every road they trace is a scar they keep.
React exact or Mac, I move you in. A strong song as long as you groove to this. I keep the crowd loud when you hype. Do damage on stage and injure the mic. As I shoot the gift, MC stand stiff. While my rhymes stick to you like Skippy and Jeff. Feel my blood fist on my death kiss. The rap solo.
Okay, so Don't Sweat the Technique was your choice, Steve. Do you want to fire off first on this one?
Yeah, I felt like I couldn't leave this out, really. And this is going to sound really weird because I've chosen other tracks like on the lyricism, but it's because I think this is really catchy, really catchy tune, basically. I just think the hook on it is amazing. Is it Kool and the Gang? Give It Up?
The drums are, yeah. I don't know, the double bass.
I don't know what the rest of it is.
From somewhere else, but...
And I just think, it just sounds nice, and also, you don't often get this, but it plays out quite long at the end as well, which I really like, because it just felt like that was quite deliberate.
Yeah.
And just repeating something I kind of said before, I think I think I'd assumed that Rakim, like nearly every one of his tracks has been sampled somewhere, but there's not really anything, I don't think, that's like popularly sampled by other artists on this track.
Or this album, to be honest with you, not a lot.
Yeah,
it's kind of...
because it's a lot later, isn't this one? But I think overall you still get his fantastic delivery and his flow, but with a much better production, so it just feels like it's a much more enjoyable listen. And I'm hoping Larry's rated this at least 1 point above some of his last ones.
Well, let's find out, shall we?
Yeah, I really love this. The drums, I think in particular, to me they sounded like they could have been just like live played drums, but I'm guessing they're not. They're a sample, as you mentioned. But there's a lot to be said about drums from this era of hip hop. Like when they're good, they're really good. It's a kind of like a sort of pre-boom bap style where they're a bit busier and danceable, and especially when you pair it with like the double bass. It's just, I can imagine just people doing the Running Man to this, or the cabbage as we would have called it in England.
That is a good. But this era of hip hop, the tempos were faster.
Yeah, they were kind of made for dancing.
And they used loops rather than programmed drums more.
Yes,
I guess a bit more.
Yeah. So, yeah, I personally think this is like the best Rakim track from this era. Like, apart from Know the Ledge.
Okay.
It's kind of almost
similar, isn't it?
It is similar. And this, like, if all Rakim tracks were kind of like a bit more like this and Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, I would be kind of much more on board with him, I think. I'd be more willing to kind of get back into it, but I think these are like standouts, basically.
Yeah, that's largely down to the production then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lyrically, his skills are still phenomenal.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's great on this, but I think it's musically is where my interest mostly lies in this, because I'm an absolute sucker for a double bass line like that.
Yeah.
It's so good, it's so catchy, like you said, Steve, really catchy and memorable.
So catchy.
And it's up there with the kind of, Know the Ledge, it's up there with The Choice Is Yours, that sort of catchy double bass.
Yeah.
So I think it's great, and I think the drums, the Kool and the Gang sample, it kind of fits like a glove with the bass line. They just sort of marry up really well.
They just roll,
They really drive it forward, and sort of Rakim just sits lovely on top of it. And it's got those nice sax samples that drift in and out.
Yeah.
Which
where are
really
they from?
Compliment. I don't know. I imagine it's from the same track that the double bass is sampled from. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this. It's a sort of track primarily given the title that they would use in like football highlights packages showing like people doing those really cool skills. I swear I've seen it used in at least one compilation of people showing off great technique.
Do you think this is his most iconic track because of how catchy it is?
No.
So no.
If anything, I'd say it was Know the Ledge of this.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think it's like his overall best either. But yeah, I love this. And I think the album it's from is sort of underrated. I think there's loads of really great stuff on this. I'm probably contradicting what I said about it when we talked about it in our earlier series, but
you can change your mind.
It's underrated. I think I listened to a few of them, and there's some great stuff. So yeah, really like it. So it's up against Big Daddy Kane's "Set It Off."
It's my choice,
which was your choice. So
it happened twice this episode.
Yeah, it has. Tell us why. Tell us why you included it.
So I consider "Ain't No Joke" Rakim's like stellar track, Magnus Opus. Is that right?
Magnum Opus.
Magnum Opus.
Yeah.
So I think "Set It Off" is Big Daddy Kane's. Primarily, it's like the energy that he kind of he uses to deliver the track, and the flow again is just there's so many quotables in this one, just like there is in "Ain't No Joke," and I just think he demonstrates fantastic lyricism. I'll try some rapping again for you, shall I?
Well, here we go. Do you want a beat?
So just the beginning, like, let it roll, get bold. I just can't hold back or fold because I'm a man with soul and control and effects. So what the heck, rock the discotheques and this groove is what's next. Like the breath control to get that, like, coming out fast. Yeah. It's just incredible. And then there's that really funny line, I entertain again and Kane will never have no problem. I can sneeze, sniffle or cough. Even if I stutter, I still come off. I think that's
nice.
That's like, clever. And then the last one, if you still want some, set it off. For you to cope, it's just a wish and a joke. And if you are what you eat, then feed me dope. That's just like battle rhymes, isn't it? Love it. So just lovely stuff all the way through. Love the feel of the track. And produced by the 45 King, who doesn't get many mentions, I don't think, on this podcast, but is actually a pretty iconic late 80s, early 90s producer.
He is. He's one of these revered figures in hip hop, isn't he? Without getting the kind of the props he deserves.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned it when we were talking about the D&D project. He's got a track on there that he produced. I think we might have mentioned him then, but yeah.
And I think Marley Marl tried to take credit for this track, but it is actually 45 King. So yeah, for me, this is like a 5 out of 5 track. Put it up there in the Smithsonian, which I still can't say.
Yeah.
With Ain't No Joke.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's an important hip hop document, I would say, this track.
Yeah.
But as I said, like I Ain't No Joke, it does sound quite dated now.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, I mean, it's a good demonstration of what made Big Daddy Kane the rapper he is. Fast lyrical delivery, lots of metaphors, really hitting you, telling you how good he is, all that sort of stuff. So I can understand why he kind of built a reputation off of tracks like this. I'd say the only thing that for me that stops it getting a higher score is the guitar sample that runs all the way through it. I find that quite annoying and detracts from it a little bit for me.
Whenever I put this track on at home, and Imogen is like in the background, it drives her insane. She's like, "Dad, can you turn this off? It's that noise is really annoying me." It
is quite an abrasive,
jarring, isn't it?
Abrasive, yeah. And not in a good way, like some of the high-pitched noises on a Public Enemy album. It's a bit too abrasive. But apart from that, it's just a decent old school of its time hip hop track. Larry, what are your thoughts?
I've got exactly the same notes as you about the guitar sample. It's just really annoying. I just can't listen to it. I'd rather listen to the track like a cappella, because there's obviously there's a really good rap in it. Yeah. But this is it's just typical of the type of music that I struggle with, like pre kind of 1990 or whatever.
See, I've thought about it. I thought, like, could I enjoy this track more if it had some different production? But I think I'm still stuck in like, this is history and I have to like maintain.
It's a kind of like, it's an iconic kind of sample, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I also feel like as someone who often doesn't really like very sparse tracks, like this one just feels like there's lots missing from it. Like it could be a really good track, but it's like they kind of, I don't know, lost a load of tracks from the multi-track at the end and didn't have time to replace them before it needed putting out or something. It's just the beat and that horrible guitar and the rapping. It's just
I think that's how they kind of did it at the time.
Yeah,
wasn't it? They were more sparse, the tracks back then. But yeah, fair enough. So that's the battle. What are we going to vote for then? I gave Don't Sweat the Technique 4 and I gave Set It Off 3. So I'm going to go Don't Sweat the Technique above Set It Off. As I say, it would have got a higher score had it not been for that
All right,
guitar song.
Let me go to next then. So Don't Sweat the Technique goes to 4, Set It Off goes to 5, so Set It Off for me.
Set It Off for you. Okay, so that's 1-1, Larry. You're the deciding vote here.
Don't Sweat the Technique is a 4, and it's a 2 for Set It Off. And that's generous.
2 harsh times. Well, that's a win there for Don't Sweat the Technique. I'm sorry, Steve. Sorry about that. But Don't Sweat the Technique gets one of these.
Back of the net.
So is Rakim 2-1 up?
No, he's 3-0 up.
3-0 up?
Yeah.
Jeepers.
Which technically means he's won the shootout already.
That's mental.
But as we do it on the Hip Hop World Cup shootout, we're going to carry on to the end and have the next 2 matches. Yep. So we're going to move on to the next one. Steve, give me another number between 1 and 5.
4, please.
That's It's Been a Long Time. And Larry, let's have another number.
6.
6, which is Ain't No Half Steppin'. It's Been a Long Time versus Ain't No Half Steppin'. Let's have a listen.
Follow procedures. The crowd couldn't wait to see this. Nobody been much longer waited since Jesus. Who wouldn't believe this? I heard the word on the street is I'm still one of the deepest on the mic since Adidas. They said I changed the times from the rhymes that I thought of. So I made some
rappers stepping to me. They wanna get some, but I'm the Kane, so yo, you know the outcome. Another victory. They can't get with me. So pick a BC day, cause you're history. I'm the authentic poet to get lyrical. For you to beat me, it's gonna take a miracle.
Okay, so we've got It's Been a Long Time was the first one out there. That was my choice. So this one comes from Rakim's, weirdly, his debut solo album in 1997, The 18th Letter, which is actually quite good. There's like an all-star lineup of producers on there, one of whom is DJ Premier. It's funny that this is his debut solo album because it always felt like he was a bit of a solo artist anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously Eric B played a massive role and all that sort of stuff, but it just always felt like Rakim was the star and he was the focus. So for me, this track is just peak. It's peak Premier. For me, it's peak Rakim. And it's like a meeting of 2 of the titans of production and rapping. Rakim is showing off on this track for me. I think this is his rather unique moment. This is his sort of AZ rather unique moment. It's where he's showing you what he can do lyrically. He's kind of using complex wordplay, his flow and delivery. He's really in control of everything. Some of the lines he comes up with, and you know, it's really, really good for me. And I just think it fits so perfectly on the Primo beat. This is one of my favourite Primo beats as well. If I had to do like a top 10, this would be in there of the Primo beats of all time. I think it's genius.
Really?
The sample is a killer for me. It's like it's a version of Call Me, which is an Al Green song that's just been chopped up, and I just think it's really catchy. And the drums are just classic Primo drums, really crisp, really clear. And it's obviously on the chorus. He's got his trademark samples, his scratches, from an old Rakim record. It's been a long time, and the whole thing just all fits together so perfectly for me. I've always loved this track. It's the best track on the album, and yeah, I had to have it in there. In fact, this was the reason I was fairly excited to do this subject, because
just to
talk about this track, which I really, really love. It's one of my favourite Premier productions.
Wow,
so that's me.
It is classic Primo, definitely. I think that's clear. It's definitely not one that I like so much. You've really said everything I think that I was thinking about it. But yeah, just interesting. Like you say, he's not down with Eric B no more.
No, that was an interesting line.
Always disputed how much Eric B contributed to or tried to take credit for some of the beats that Rakim claims he did or did with him. So no, yeah, I agree with everything you said, Danny. A classic Premier and classic Rakim.
I like the subject about the fact that he's been away. It's been a long time. It's like 5 years since they started the technique. And so he built the track around that idea, and he's saying like nobody's been this long awaited since Jesus. Yeah. I just think the concept of it's brilliantly executed, and it's a head nodder. I just think it's just.
Do you know what he was doing in that time? Do you know?
If I'd have bothered to read the Rakim book that's on that shelf behind you, I probably would know more about that. But I haven't got around to it yet.
That's good prep.
Yeah, but no, I just absolutely love it. Larry, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you're not going to go far wrong with DJ Premier at the peak of his powers with a great sample like that, and an MC as good as Rakim. I think as good as Rakim is, like on this track, I think it just goes back to my earlier points about like in an era where by this point we've heard the likes of Big L, Jay-Z, OC, rappers of that caliber. I'm not like massive, like this doesn't impress me like all that much, like the rap performance or what he's saying. It's fine, and the beat is just a typical Premier banger. It is really good.
Can I just jump in there? 'Cause I think that's why this song has not been on heavy rotation for me, because at that time there was so much better stuff. It's only when you go back and actually what you were saying, Danny, like actually this is like peak Rakim. Why didn't I like it so much at the time? And it's because there's so much better fare on offer. He got
drowned out. He was kind of coming back to kind of try and reclaim his spot in a way.
That was the kind of, I think, what was it? Was it 97? This was. So I wouldn't have been like massively kind of, on board with hip hop at that point anyway. But I think the way I would have viewed it is like a kind of has been coming back and trying. That's a really unfair kind of way to characterize Rakim, like one of the best ever, but.
You're
just someone who's kind of from the past and just like, just who cares?
But that's trendy now. They're all doing it now, aren't they? Like, 50 years later or whatever it is. Interestingly, the album this one is from, it's a double CD, and it came with a greatest hits. The Book of Life, which...
This was my intro. This is
was it?
Yeah, this is the first album I've got. It's got the best of, and then listen to this album. So it does, the greatest hits just takes all of the focus away. The actual album, I think.
Well, that was an interesting, because it kind of it allowed me to fill in my collection for it being Rakim by having the greatest hits. Because I never had any of them apart from Let the Rhythm Hit and Don't Sweat the Technique. The early stuff I never had, so it kind of allowed me to catch up a little bit. All right,
this is probably sort of quite a big deal of an album at the time, was it? Like with him coming back.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Album, It was a big deal at the time. And it had like the producers he was using, it has Pete Rock's on there and Clark Kent and stuff. So he really made a big play to come back and try and make a bit of a splash. I don't think it was massively successful.
No. I just think he'd kind of, again, I think he just had his time by that point and had just been superseded by the people he influenced. Like, a person I didn't mention already, Nas. Like when you've had you've had two Nas albums at this point,
And also, he's quite a conscious rapper, Rakim, and obviously, like from the end of the golden era, there's a lot of conscious rappers that kind of came along. So he definitely got drowned out by that.
That 5-year hiatus probably hurt him. Obviously, being away, dropped off the radar, and other people rose up in the void.
Golden era.
Yeah, exactly.
He was absent for it.
Yeah.
I think the bigger track on this album was "Guess Who's Back." I don't know if you've heard that. I think that was a big hit at the time. Cool. Right, let's switch it over then to Ain't No Half Steppin', which was your choice, Larry.
Yeah.
Tell us why you wanted this one on the list.
Well, I think this, to me, just exemplifies why I think Rakim is a better rapper than Big Daddy Kane, but I prefer Big Daddy Kane because he's a lot more fun to listen to than Rakim, I think. He's not on Rakim's level in terms of like precision and like the gravitas in his voice and stuff, but I just find him a lot more engaging. There's a kind of buoyancy to his style, I think, which is particularly evident in a track like this. Like with Rakim, I feel fraudulent as a hip hop fan not being kind of more of a Rakim fan, but because of that kind of image I have of him, I always feel when I'm listening to Rakim like I should be kind of studying it and taking notes on like the historical importance of like his lyrical meter and things like that. Whereas with like this kind of track, it's just fun sounding, And they kind of, I don't know who produced it. Was it Kane himself that did this, or whoever it was? They kind of somehow managed to make.
This is Marley Marl.
Marley Marl, is it? Somehow managed to make the UFO sample seem almost like jaunty,
right,
on it, which is quite a feat. It's just a really nice sounding track, full stop, really. And just as a little aside, I had no idea before today that the ESG UFO track, and in fact that album, is produced by Martin Hannett,
right?
Who's Joy Division's producer.
Oh, right, okay.
I had no idea at all. But when you listen to it, it's like, oh yeah, that just makes a lot of sense. Like it's got his kind of style, all over it.
Interesting.
Just an interesting little kind of little diversion there.
Nice.
Yeah, great track. I love it. It's what I think of when I think of Big Daddy Kane.
Can I go next? Because
you go
I'm
next.
going to respectfully disagree with what Larry's just said then, because I actually think that Rakim, having done this podcast, I think I realised that Rakim is definitely the godfather of modern day golden age hip hop. But I do believe that Big Daddy Kane is better. So I have kind of like the opposite opinion of you,
right.
and it links to what you were just saying, really, like some of the fun, but also the skill he brings. And this track I absolutely love, and it's a really good demonstration on here of why he's the better rapper. So I think firstly, like the metaphors on here are just fantastic, and then I had to look this up. So you're the English guru, you're definitely both of you better than me at this, but there's something in the assonance and the repetition. He's like the master of this, and so many of his tracks he's able to kind of like there's a line on here, it's like, I'll just break him and bake him and rake him and take him and mold him up and make him hold up the peace sign, Assalamu alaikum. And I think he I need a new career here, don't I? But Rakim is pretty steady in his lyricism. He is kind of like conscious, steady, throws in a few metaphors. Big Daddy Kane is able to do the metaphors, the punchlines, the braggadocious stuff, the assonance, the internal rhymes, the repetition. I think he's just got more in his toolbox.
He's a bit more versatile, isn't he? I think
he's very, very skilled, and his breath control is phenomenal. Like Rakim does rap quite slowly, and Big Daddy Kane is kind of spitting out. So that's like a skill in itself. And I think the biggest credit I can give to this track is that I think you could take away the production and just have a cappella, and you'd be nodding your head just to the way that he's flowing and he's rapping.
He's a very versatile rapper. I'd agree with that. He can do party rhymes, he can do like sex rhymes, he can do serious stuff. He's got it all. So,
it's like another victory. They can't get with me. So pick a BC date because your history. I love that. This is so clever. There's so many good examples in this track of it being like highly quotable again. I grab the mic and make MCs evaporate. The party people say, damn, that rapper's great. Just so, I don't know, there's so many, I think we've said this about some tracks before. There's some tracks where you just want it to get to a certain point in the track because you just know what's coming and you just want to kind of rap along with it. And this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, nice. I just want to get Chris Kamara's take on some of your rapping there. There's been some great rapping here in the studio, Chris.
I don't know, Jeff, has there? I must have missed that.
Oh, never mind. I think he was listening. I think he was elsewhere.
I've got no more raps for you today, Chris, so that's
a shame.
It's a shame, yeah.
Real shame. So for me, 8.5 steppin. I don't really have a lot to say about it, this one, to be honest with you. There's loads of lines in there that I recognise.
It's very highly quoted.
Very highly quoted, highly sampled. But for me, my main takeaway from it is that this is kind of like the quintessential use of the Emotions Blind Alley break, the main sample that it uses. I mean, it's one of the most sampled tracks of all time. I would say this is probably one of the most iconic uses of it, which is pretty good. It's a famous break. And as you said, like the ESG going along in the background. So, like production-wise, I think it's iconic.
Well, we don't really get a chance to talk about Marley Marl very much, but he should get a mention as being like one of the pioneers.
One of the pioneers.
Modern hip hop as well.
I've seen lots about him chopping up. He pioneered chopping up drum breaks, and he would have these floppy disks and stuff.
Right.
And he's like one of the first to chop up, impeach the president and things like that. He used to have that beat chopped up and they got nicked or something. There's a story about how he had all his discs stolen and he heard beats that he'd made somebody else.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Somewhere else. But yeah, he was a pioneer, and he's behind so much of the hip hop that we would listen to as we sort of first started out in the early 90s. He did like the LL Cool J stuff, he did When I Said Knock You Out and stuff like that. That was kind of my first introduction to him.
He's done loads. He's an absolute legend.
So yeah, hats off. Let's have a bit of a round of applause for Marley Marl, whose fingerprints are all over this. So should we move on to voting on this one then? Larry, you go first.
Ain't No Half Steppin', I gave 4.
Okay.
And what's the other track again?
It's Been a Long Time.
It's Been a Long Time. That got, I think it's a 3.5. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Kane on this one.
Oh, Kane.
Come back.
Is the comeback on? What are you voting for, Steve?
So It's Been a Long Time gets a 4. Ain't No Half Steppin' is a straight out 5. Probably 6, actually. So Ain't No Half Steppin'.
Fair enough. So that's Big Daddy Kane's first victory of this shootout. I'm going to vote for It's Been a Long Time, inevitably, because that's it's just an absolute favourite of mine. But it's not enough to stop it from losing this one. So Ain't No Half Steppin' gets one of these.
Back of the net.
So it's all academic, but our final match is When I Be on the Mic by Rakim versus How You Get a Record Deal by Big Daddy Kane. Let's have a listen to both of those.
Real ill, heavyweight hitters, go-getters, 50 ways to make figures. My they come on the spot to fail sisters, like the head rail spitters, the kids on the ziggas. When it's ugly, then the club is lovely. Thugs be sipping Hennessy and bubbly.
Single white female, cause when I hit the skins they all say damn Kane, you knock out the bush like a presidential campaign. But if you think the licking toes makes me weak, you better treat me like Freddy Krueger. Don't sleep, I write raps ready to rip and rock real rough rhymes when they're rugged and raw, rapidly.
Okay, so When I Be on the Mic was your choice, Larry.
Yep.
Bit of a later one from the Rakim catalogue. Talk us through it.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it prior to selecting it. I was just sort of, going through tracks to kind of nominate. I don't know if you would go along with this, but the sample, it sounds like a Gangstar beat.
Yeah.
Like the kind of sample you would use for a Gangstar track.
Yeah.
I can almost hear like Guru on this, like from one of those sort of later albums, like what they call like The Owners and Moment of Truth, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Proper head nodder, the kind of thing that you could just listen to on a loop for hours, even though it's very repetitive and basic. That's all I've got to say about it, really. It's just it's just a proper head nodder.
I like this Primo beat more than It's Been a Long Time.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, it's interesting you put
They're
that other one so high.
They're both
I was
good.
like, really? What am I missing something here? But I think this one, maybe because it sounds like a more gangstar-y one.
Well, I've got an attachment to the other one as well. This was brand new to me for this podcast, so I didn't know it, but it's unmistakably DJ Premier. I would say that first of all. It's like a pretty cut and paste.
Yeah.
Primo.
I think they're probably both they're pretty much on a par with each other. These two.
Yeah,
these tracks,
for me, this just has less gravitas behind it. It just feels like a bit. The sample he's used doesn't quite. It feels like he's just chopped a chord, and it doesn't have quite the same catchiness to it.
I disagree.
It's been a long time.
I think it's slightly more upbeat and slightly more interesting.
Yeah, that I would say the same.
Yeah,
really.
I don't know. I can't put my finger on why. It just feels a bit more lightweight. It didn't have as much to say as It's Been a Long Time, because It's Been a Long Time he'd been away for a while.
There's a point to it, isn't there?
There's a point to it, and he came back with 5 years later with this Primo beat. Whereas this one, it just kind of, I don't know. It just doesn't have the same impact for me, which is fine. I mean, we can,
that's true.
Yeah, it's a deceptively simple beat, but we always say that about Primo. It's like his stuff is it's a beat and a chopped up sample, but you try doing it, you can't do it. It's ridiculous. It's so genius. Yeah. So I never knew this one, but I do like it. So I was really happy that you chose it, because it gave me a chance to listen to it and sort of, and I've listened to a few more of the album. It's not a bad there's some good stuff on that album.
Right.
On the master. So anything else to say on this one? No. I gave it a 4. Don't get me wrong, I gave it a 4.
Yeah, I'd give it a 4. Definitely.
Yeah, same.
So moving over to the other Big Daddy Kane track, How You Get a Record Deal. You two are going to have to...
It's your choice.
Tell me. I know it is, but you two are going to have to sort of tell me why you don't like it.
No, I like it.
It was the So the first single from his album Looks Like a Job For, which came out in 93, I used to see the video on MTV Raps and bought the album off the back of it because I really liked it. It's essentially, it is another like I'm Better Than You rap. It's like another, you know, how do you get a record deal? It's like, but it's an interesting twist on saying the same thing. Like, you know, he's telling you why he's so good, but he's telling other people he doesn't understand why they're rappers. One interesting thing is one of the first Trackmasters productions they ever did. You know, Poke and Tone, who did a lot of the It Was Written stuff and the Biggie stuff.
Yeah.
So it's notable for that reason. But what I love about it is it's primarily the production, the muted, filtered bass line, and those drums are so clean and crisp. I really love the way the drums are chopped up. It's kind of like completely different from the old school sound that we've heard from a lot of the other Big Daddy Kane tracks so far. So obviously it fits right into the sort of hip hop that I was really into. And flipping that lyrically, there's so many clever punchlines and metaphors in it.
Exactly
it's
what I put.
absolutely packed with it. And that's what I was talking about. They're a lot cleverer, these ones, than they were in the earlier tracks. For instance, Knock Out the Bush like a presidential campaign. It's being one of them, which we heard in the clip. So
can I just say my favourite one while we're on that point? Point blank, I spell murder to a bum, or you backwards rappers, red rum.
Yeah, really clever.
I'd love it.
I've got one as well, actually.
Yeah.
Which is when, I forget, like the setup to it is, should he be writing raps for other people? And he says, my rhymes are like spandex, they make any ass.
I had exactly the same one.
That's really great.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, so I can't really say much more than that. It was a track I loved at the time. An album that nobody really ever talks about. You know, it was kind of this came and went.
I'm really pleased you chose this one because I really like this track. It's I think it's grown on me over the course of this podcast. Yeah, and like some of the things that you've both said today, it's probably like feels like a more modern, more Larry acceptable version of Big Daddy Kane.
It's of that era because it's 93, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'd say it's of that era, and it is a good beat, but it's a kind of par for the course beat for 93. It's not outstanding. It's fine.
Yeah, it's unremarkable, isn't it?
Unremarkable. I'd rather hear. I'd be interested to hear him on stuff like this, but. Again, it feels like he just sort of doesn't belong in this era.
Yeah, you can feel he's trying to stay relevant. And trying to work
even
with
like
the producers who are hot.
It's like even like the cover looks a bit like it doesn't really look like him. It looks like he's sort of.
It's very 93. And there's some good stuff on there. There's Easy Mo B produced some beats on there and all that sort of stuff. But it didn't really.
It's like MC Hammer coming back with like a bald head and stuff.
Funky Headhunter. And then Big Daddy Kane in 94 released another album, Daddy's Home, which again was kind of, there's some good stuff on there, including with DJ Premier, A Show and Prove. But again, it was him trying to keep up with all the
They're
younger
sort of yesterday's men, aren't they?
Yeah. 100%. But what he does have in his arsenal are those metaphors or those kind of clever jokes and punchlines and stuff like that. When you had guys like Big L around at the time as well, he's fighting a losing battle maybe. But
my only minor criticism is sometimes on some of his tracks there are too many metaphors and you get a little bit sick of them.
And that's all it is.
But that's what it is. But I think don't forget what I said at the beginning. Like these two have been chosen because they are so influential. And without Big Daddy Kane, you would not have Big L and those giants of hip hop. Or they might. Like I agree probably what you said, Larry. Like maybe yes, they'd have come along a bit later, but someone had to start or refine the art form, and I think. That's what makes Big Daddy Kane so phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think there's much more to be said about those two tracks then. Shall we put it to the vote? I'm going to let Steve go first on this one.
How You Get a Record Deal is my choice.
Okay, that's one notch for Big Daddy Kane, Larry.
Yeah, I'm going for Rakim on this one.
Okay, so that's 1-1.
Yeah.
I am going to go... I'm going to probably
go with the track that you chose.
Well, the thing is,
I can see your face.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I found it fairly difficult to choose tracks for this one because Big Daddy Kane wasn't someone I had loads of tracks to choose from, and the one I would have put in this, had we not already talked about it in Dream Team, is Brother Brother off Prince of Darkness.
Okay, yeah.
So I had to find another one, and this isn't a track that I'm like, oh, I absolutely love it. Like I only gave it a 3. And that's my own track that I chose. All right, I'm going to go for my own try. I'm going to go for the track I chose. I'm going to go How You Get a Record Deal. Even though it got a lower true score than Rakim, I'm going to stay true to myself and give it a vote. So that is 2-1 to Big Daddy Kane on that one. So he's kind of had a bit of a late rally. He's won the last two, Big Daddy Kane, making it 3-2 overall. So he got Big Daddy Kane gets one of these.
Can I just say my thing here then? Because
Hang on a minute. And then that means that overall Rakim is our winner, which means he gets this. Right, so you want to say your thing?
Yeah, my thing was just to kind of say, like, thank you both for, like, indulging me on this episode. But I did find it really interesting because I thought originally, like, Rakim will win so easily, and he has, obviously.
Yeah.
But doing this, I actually prefer Big Daddy Kane. I think he is overall one of the greatest rappers of all time. I think Rakim is the godfather, but I don't think you can consider him the greatest of all time and has the same legacy as Big Daddy Kane. That's all I wanted to say. That's my little bit.
Yeah, thanks for well said, Steve. Well said. Did you have a quiz to do as well?
Yes. Right.
We got some more bollocks for you out there, listeners.
Yeah.
Here we go. Steve's prepared a quiz. While you get it up on your phone, I will just introduce it.
And that's the real quiz.
Here we go. This is a quiz.
So, Rakim was part of a group, 5%ers, which isn't really like a hip hop group, but Big Daddy Kane was part of a legendary group. Do you know the name of the group? I'm hoping you know this, because otherwise it's going to be a really tricky quiz. The legendary Juice Crew.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that was like a group. I thought it was just kind of like that.
It's like a posse or whatever you want
to
call it.
All right.
So, so your job, same as in the last quiz, I have a list of all of the members.
Okay.
You've got to name one at a time, a member each, and we'll see who can go
the Juice Crew,
the longest
blimey,
from the Juice
I'm
Crew.
going to put some sort of dramatic bed underneath this when I edit it. So
yeah.
So you can't obviously choose Big Daddy Kane. That's off the table straight away.
Okay.
So let's flip a coin. Decide who goes first. Larry, heads or tails?
Heads.
It's tails. So Danny, you get to go first.
How is that a head? How is that a tail?
It's a bottle
because it's bottom rather than its top.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So Danny, member of the legendary Juice Crew, please.
Okay, I'm going. Called You Rap.
Correct.
This is
Hang on.
Nice. Larry.
MC Shan.
Yes, that's a good one.
I'm going to go Master Ace.
Correct.
Marley Marl.
Correct. He was actually.
Can you have that?
Yes, you can, because he's actually the founder, a joint founder with someone else. So hopefully you'll guess who it is in a moment. Danny.
Intelligent Hoodlum.
Yes. Lovely stuff.
This is a real guess, and I don't think it's accurate. But K Solo.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Okay. So
I know.
So Danny, this is to take the title.
Okay.
And just so listeners know, like, quizzes are Danny's thing. So if he doesn't get one here, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Oh, Juice Crew. Oh, so many names. Oh, Roxanne Shante.
You little beauty.
Oh, that's a good one.
Where did you pluck that
I don't know.
from?
It was a name that was in my head, but I couldn't remember whether that was the one that had the beef with somebody from the Juice Crew or whether.
There's a few that you'll definitely get. So one is Cool G Rap's partner in crime.
DJ Polo.
Yeah. Other one is
Rest in peace.
Is another one who's also passed away, was famous for his beatboxing.
Biz Markie?
The Biz Markie.
Really? Oh, right, yeah, of course.
Other ones you might have not heard of, Craig G, and the founder, DJ founder, Mr. Magic.
Mr. Magic, oh, okay.
And also a singer, TJ Swan, which I'd never heard of.
I've heard of TJ Swan.
But apparently did a bit of kind of vocal work. So you did pretty well there. You did,
nice.
Did good work.
Round of applause for that. Got a little bit more bollocks for you now. Larry, you had some urgent news, I believe, about because in the last episode you were talking about how
yes.
So we had some sponsorship offers. So we've got some
urgent news.
Yeah, so it was a tricky selection because if you remember, we had Umbro, Steve Agrizovic, and what was the other one? Tasty, nice and tasty cola.
Yeah, from the Philippines, or it was.
I forget the name of it now, but I actually wanted to go with nice tasty cola or whatever it was we called them, and to the point where I met with them.
Yeah.
And I, subsequently having, tested the produce, I spent 4 weeks in a Filipino hospital.
Was that where you were?
Yeah. Hence why I've lost 40% of my body weight. But it was tasty. I will give them that. But yeah, I couldn't really have it on my conscience going with that. So we did. We decided to go with Steve Agrizovic in the end, didn't we?
We did, and we've actually got him here live in the studio with us. How are you, Steve?
Very well, thank you. Looking forward to what you've got to say.
Well, I wanted to sort of pin you down a little bit more because in your original email to us, it was quite vague about what you sort of would offer the show.
Yeah.
Could you just break down in a bit more detail of what we can expect from you?
Goalkeeper.
And is that it?
Goalkeeper.
All right. Well, can we make use of that? I mean, can we Hip Hop World Cup 5-a-side team and
if anyone out there does need a goalkeeper in any capacity, be that as a regular, like I don't know, sort of pub team player, or even if there's a big like professional team that would appreciate that kind of expertise.
Probably Man United would.
Or Man United, or as a coach, anything like that.
We could pimp him out and just sort of loan him out. So. You could wear all the branded T-shirts, Hip Hop World Cup, spread the word.
Good
Love
idea.
it. Well, thanks very much, Steve Agrizovic. So that's it. That's the end of the show. What we've established, I think, is that Rakim is definitively the better rapper than Big Daddy Kane. I think that's what we've...
Mr. Tasty, that was it, wasn't it?
Mr. Tasty. Is that a fair result? Let us know what you think on X, Instagram, Threads and Blue Sky. Just search at Hip Hop World Cup. Give us a follow and let us know you're listening. Also, please subscribe and leave us nice 5-star reviews on Spotify, Apple, or your podcast platform of choice. That's it. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you for our next shootout. Peace.
Aye, good looking boy. Sway.
Nice work.
Goalkeeper.